Welcome everyone to an episode of the Definitive Crusade. Yes, I'm still rocking a Dolphins jersey. Yes, football season's over. And yes, Freyja will be annoyed that I'm talking about football again. What you going to do, right? Okay, joining me this week to talk about a plethora, I tell you, of comic books. We have Tracy from across the small pond. We have the random dude, Josh. And of course, the aforementioned Freyja.
Hi.
Voila. Hello.
That was her.
Hello.
Hi,
Hello.
football.
Yeah. I hate football.
Hey. Right.
You're not alone.
No.
Yeah. Are you ready? Right. So, at the time of recording, the Batman has hit the cinema. If you've come to this show to hear about spoilers, I'm afraid that's not going to happen because on this pod, no one but me has seen the damn film. So check out the UCPN and Cinema Crusaders because I'm sure in the short term they will have their review out in short turn. And then you can have a watch and a listen and a view and your I Am Vengeance and all that sort of stuff as much as you like. But for right now, for right here, it's comic books.
Right here.
And
right
not just
now,
pointy ears.
Right here. Right now.
Well, for a change, I've got to say, considering this week has been a little bit bat heavy for obvious reasons, I think we do a good job of not just focusing on Batman. I mean, DC's got a range of heroes, right? I mean, they've even got Green Lanterns.
No, Johnny.
They don't have Green
Johnny.
Lanterns anymore? No?
They do, and they're in another book that we'll be talking about later.
Are they?
There is one.
Is there? All right, okay.
There's one. There's a one making an appearance in one of the books. You know.
Oh
all
my
the-
god. Oh my god.
Come on, I noticed that, so that's a big thing. I'm really proud of myself that I was like, I know who that's supposed to be.
That book is a great review for that book, doesn't it? Yeah, the art by, and yes, I know who that should be. All right, okay. So,
I was proud.
with the fact that we don't talk about all pointy ears that often, we're going to kick it off with, in fact, the newest mini-series from Tom King. So it's Batman Killing Time #1 of 6. So not only do we get rid of a Supergirl miniseries, which by the way was fantastic. Go and check it out. Once that's done, we've got this one. So this is 6 issues. So you never know, it might get done before Halloween, when the Batman Catwoman story is still probably going. So this is written by Tom King, art by David Marquez, colors by Alejandro Sanchez, and letters by Clayton. If it's not my name on it, it's not me. Can't miss a big book. Cowles. There you go.
Can I mention one thing about this book?
If it's mentioning that the 1 in 25 cover of Catwoman by Garner is absolutely gorgeous.
Catwoman looks fantastic in the book, but that's not what I was getting at. It was more of a joke of, okay, so we've talked about Tom King and his pacing. Do you find it ironic that this is called Killing Time?
The irony is not lost. It really isn't.
That was my first thought when I saw this. I was like, see what I did there.
Yeah, but I mean, thankfully, he's got a set limit on this. So it's not Heroes in Crisis with expanded story. It's not Bats and Cats, which just seem to have the same argument for the last 4 issues. So hopefully this is a little bit quicker. Josh, you're down there. Woo! So you can kick us off on this. What did you think of this book?
Honestly, I liked it. I liked it a lot. For starters, said it already, Catwoman looks phenomenal.
Gorgeous. Even
Absolutely
with blonde hair.
Gorgeous. Honestly, I just like that we get a group of villains from the Rogues Gallery with no Joker. We got Riddler, we got Catwoman, we got Killer Croc, and we got Penguin. Now, coincidence that 3 out of those 4 villains are in the new movie?
Hey,
no.
Coincidence is Joe Incidence with a C.
Oh,
No.
Jeez.
You are on the ball tonight, Mr.
Uh.
Hughes. On the ball.
But all in all, the thing that I had to keep in mind is this is a first issue. It's setting the stage for this miniseries. So to really understand everything going on in the story, it is what it is. The artwork I thought was phenomenal in this.
Great.
And just if you're looking for great artwork, Catwoman. I think that's going to be my mantra on this one. Is Catwoman looks fantastic in this.
You're gonna have to show the panel with Catwoman. Sorry.
Oh, I'm getting there. But even Riddler
You
looks
passed
good.
it. You passed it.
No, I did that on purpose. But yes, Catwoman.
Meow. She is perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh god.
This is the Catwoman that we should always get. She's the villain. She's not going to do her usual. We're still early on.
I still like the purple dress. What can I say?
Okay.
You're old.
I will agree. The purple dress.
Whoa! What do you mean down there? I'm old. Just saying.
Sorry, Josh. Continue. I'm sorry.
But I mean, all in all, I enjoyed it.
On
I
the
thought
whole.
it was a great read. We definitely get to see Catwoman's flexibility.
Yeah.
And the service, which was ace, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, it was such a good read, and the fact that we get more of the villain stuff than we do of Batman. I mean, he doesn't.
Yeah.
He's only in a few panels. He's not in the whole damn book. So, yay to make him a secondary character so far.
So let's give some kind of props to this book. This is set in the early days of Batman's career. Commissioner Gordon's just become commissioner. And Josh, you're absolutely right. 3 of the 4 characters from the new Batman movie appear in this book. On top of that, you've got the monologue-y stuff going through, which, as you'll know if you'd seen the movie, has the same sort of timbre as that is. So, Tracy, what was your thoughts on this book? Has Tom King rescued himself from the mires of Heroes in Crisis and Bat's Cats?
I don't know yet. I'm holding judgment because it's very pretty. I thought the Riddler looked fab in this. I thought he was drawn
very
so dapper.
Yeah.
But like even you can understand his thought process just by those close-ups of his face. It was amazing. And Selena's eyes are beautiful. But I really hate this back and forth narrative bullshit. Sorry, swearing. Sorry, I apologize. I don't like it.
Well, you know what? That's a fair shout. But I think one of the things that surprised me through the back and forth narrative is that it's actually focused on this one issue. It's not like we're 3 issues down the line and then it starts telling us the back and forth of what happened. You know, so I appreciated the immediacy of the back and forth.
Yeah, and I think that's why I'm not going to say it was awful because the script in itself and the writing was fantastic. The story is like it's the first time I felt sorry for Killer Croc.
Yeah,
he always gets that crap out of this.
He gets, and then that horrible girlfriend friend of his, just a horrible person, and like that page right there, and it was like, what are you doing, you horrible person, you know? And then he gets punched in the face by Batman, who looks really weird if you look at his musculature on this, because it's like he looks like he's got. Look, to me, it looks like what's the paper, the popping, wrapping stuff that we use.
Oh, bubble wrap.
Bubble wrap. Thank you. He looks like bubble wrap. And then
I can never look at Killer Croc the same way again now. Thanks.
Yeah.
No, not Killer Croc.
Killer Bubbles.
Batman.
Batman looks like bubble wrap.
Batman looks like bubble wrap, not Killer Croc.
Yeah.
But then as well, And if you go back to the scene with Catwoman where she's in the kick, not this one because that's stunning.
Oh yeah.
But the other one,
There
again,
you go.
the physiology. No, not the kick. There's the one more. Oh yeah, there's that button one there. It just like that's not a human pose.
Well,
It's not a
comic
human
books,
leg
so
either. Look here.
I think
No, it's
we
not a human
mentioned
leg
this.
either.
It's
We
way too-
mentioned this before, where in a lot of the action sequences, when like limbs are elongated like that, it's the whole almost from the view of the person where it's like time slows down and
But it's majoritively when it's done with female characters.
yeah.
And that's my only thing. Because like even her doing her gymnastics kick there
Well,
when she's over, that's
no,
semi-normal. But
I
no, the other one.
have to disagree. If you go back to Bubble Wrap Bats, all right,
Laura Bats, yeah.
he's there. That is hyperextended. That is equally as hyperextended as Catwoman's leg. Albeit Catwoman's got curves going on and he's got muscles going on. But
No, he's got bubble wrap going.
Well, whatever's going on.
I mentioned both.
What I'm saying is,
I'm an equal opportunist. I mentioned both, Johnny.
Yeah, but you can't diss Catwoman for being leggy.
No, I'm not dissing Catwoman. I'm saying as we know with comics, predominantly when myself and Freya predominantly give out about anatomy, and it's because I've studied anatomy for years in my prior career. So when I do see something like this and it is highly out of the way, it irks me.
All right, so you didn't mention the fact that Batman on this panel we're here, Batman's forearm is shorter than the rest of his arm.
I said Batman looks like he's bubble wrap.
So no,
that's his entire body. Look at that! Look at his front of his. Look at his thigh.
I'm not looking. All I'm saying is anatomy wise, you can't punch.
I'm not talking about crotches in a while. It's fine.
You're addicted. I'm addicted to body poses. Check me out. Fine, go for it.
Freya, save us, please, for the love of all that's holy.
No, I'm entertained.
Freya's like, thank God it's not me saying anything about the anatomy.
Well, I was going to.
I got your back, sister. Don't you worry.
Freya, what did you think of this book?
It's a good read. I do agree with Tracy about the back and forth, though. It does get kind of annoying. But I don't know. I'll get used to it, I guess. I don't know. I just don't really like the back and forth. I'm very happy we went back to the green-eyed, this outfit. I like this design of Selena because when I got into Batman, it was the animated series, and she was kind of a blonde, kind of at the time. So I like this costume a lot because there's no stupid armpit holes. It's just a solid suit, and I like it. And I do like Riddler's design as well in this one. They made him more, I guess, masculine is the right term. Like,
what about Penguin being more animalistic than we've seen him in the most recent?
See, I'm fine with.
Yeah, me too.
I'm fine with it because he kind of just reminds me of Danny DeVito's.
Yeah.
But he has fingers and not flippers going on, or maybe he does. I can't really tell. But and
maybe he'll show you the flipper trick.
The French flipper.
Oh jeez. But yeah,
you brought flippers up.
Whatever, and I can ignore it if I want to. So yeah, I liked all the characters' designs. The story was a nice read. Croc needs to bite off her head, but that probably won't happen. Cool. But I liked it. I just didn't really get why Catwoman and Riddler are working together.
Not yet.
So
I'm sure
also the stupid symbol swearing needs to stop because there is an overabundance of it in this.
Yeah,
like just stop. Just use kid swear words.
Right.
Swear words, or just don't have them.
Right. Okay.
That's my main issue. That was
Josh. May I have the screen, please, sir?
Absolutely. Are you gonna share?
I'll share something. Yeah, I'm going to share something.
Go for it.
So, if for anyone who is wondering what the hell I'm talking about when it comes to the Ghana cover, so this is taken off the Forbidden Planet website.
Okay.
I'm going to show you this. Have a look at this. Boom! This is a 1 in 25 cover.
Ooh.
Yeah,
Lucas will be doing.
That's nice.
Yeah, this is.
it is beautiful.
That's nice.
So this
Very
is
nice.
retailing. This is retail on eBay already in the UK at £25 because it's a 1 in 25. You can see Forbidden Planet got it $15.99. For me, this cover is gorgeous. It's by Chris Garner. So if you have an opportunity to get hold of this, for my money, it's a great book anyway. You might as well spend the extra cash if you can get it and get this. But that's just me. You know, hey ho. And what I don't talk about, I don't normally talk about speculative stuff, but I was in a local comic book shop near me yesterday. Batman 89, #1. Right? We talked about this, Josh, a while ago.
Mhm.
Guess how much that is currently selling for in this comic book shop? I think it's on a 9.5 grade. slab.
Oh, so it's slated.
Yeah. Take a guess.
70 pounds.
£675.
Freyja, you want to join in? I'll tell you
The pound is right. Here we go.
We just thrown in numbers. I don't know.
Yeah. £120.
Ooh.
And I was like, why is this book so expensive? And the answer was, well, it's not that good, it's not that special, but there's not that many of them around. So
What?
Limited edition.
people didn't pick it up apparently. So if anybody wants a copy of Batman 89 #1, let me know. Talk to the show because I've got a copy and I don't particularly like it that much. So there you go.
You know what, Johnny?
I'll take it.
I'll take it from you.
I'll take it too.
Yeah.
Fight,
Cool.
Josh.
Yeah.
Sharon is Karen. Sharon is Karen. You send it to one, and when they don't like it, they'll send it to you.
So when-
And you don't like it, they'll send it to you.
So what Freya is suggesting is that we have shared custody on this book. I'll never see it.
I don't care how the sharing works as long as one of you pays me for it. I don't care. I can take Utah dollars as much as I can take Colorado dollars. Trust me. Mind you, Frey still owes me cheesecake from like 2 birthdays ago. So.
Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
You never
And
get that.
you did get a mug. And
I
you
did.
did get a mug.
Well, wait a second. I didn't get a mug. You sent a mug to my wife.
No. Let's be technical. Your name was
really?
on the shipping.
Did you see the photo she posted with her drinking out of the said cup?
Who's the one that took the photo?
It's a selfie. All right, next book.
Okay.
Moving along.
Bullet dodged.
I want presents. I had a big birthday last Thursday. Why didn't I get presents?
Oh,
Tracy, I'll message you later. I got you.
Like, I had a big birthday. Like
I'm giving you a contact. I'm giving you a contact for a new comic book artist, right? So
This is very true. This is very true. I'm a
First person.
platform. I will help them. That's what I do.
Excellent.
See, you can see my new thing at the bottom.
Oh, look at that, Tracy at Thormond Comic C.
Tolman Comic Creations.
All right, okay, cool, excellent.
Yeah.
All right, next up is The Nice House on the Lake #7. Now we are going to show you the cover for this book. We're not going to dive into the book a great deal because this is a black label book, and therefore it is not all ages. All right. So,
Avert your eyes, children.
Yeah.
Put your fingers in your ears.
Yeah.
Cover your eyes.
It's going to turn into a Hear No Evil.
Yeah.
See
evil.
no evil.
All right,
No
so
evil.
I will give you the stats on this book when we show it. Are we going to show it?
Yep. It's
Front cover.
audio guy's going to yell at me later.
That's all right. Okay, so there it goes. It's written by James Tynion IV, who's left Bats and gone back to his horror roots. Art is by Alvaro Martinez Bueno. Colors are by the always, even on the god-awful Woman of Marvel book that I had to look for Comic Crusaders. Always great Georgie Belair. And letters are by Antworld Design, who made the name doing lots of indie stuff. And pretty much that's what I think of this book. It absolutely screams indie. Now, whose choice was this? Freya's the yours?
Yep.
Cool. So, Freya, would you like to take it away, do you?
Sure. So this series, in case everyone's forgotten, a group of people, they're not necessarily friends with each other, have been put into this like house / environment in the woods.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Absolutely my throat there.
Oh no.
Sure. And so the only thing these people have in contact, besides some of them knowing each other, is that they all had a friend named Walter, through like either high school or college, and they talk about him, and through the series they found out that he's not human, he's an alien actually. And they're trying to get out of this place because it's essentially a prison, and they don't want to be there, and they can't leave. They want to see their families. They can't make any phone calls. And then in this particular issue, Walter's out. He's there with them, and he's wandering around with them, but they can't really remember because he's erasing their minds constantly.
This sounds like a Doctor Who thing.
Yeah, so it kind of does, really. And it's a great book. I actually quite enjoy it. The artwork inside, it's stylized. I guess it's not really my type of style that I like.
I think you could say
Like
quite
you can,
generously and genuinely, you could turn around and say the art for this book is of its type, in that it's going for that old adult horror themes. So
I love the majority of the art in this. I adore.
So for anybody
you should
who
be safe doing the first page. Inside, you should be safe. There's no nudity or anything.
So if you
look, the last book.
If you like your indie books, you might have been reading Faithless from, I think it's Boom, although I could be wrong on that. So this is a lot more colourful than that. It's not as graphic as that. However, there is nudity involved.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, it is a horror book rather than a...
I do... Sorry.
No, you're good.
I was gonna say I do like the art in the fact that it kind of looks like what do you say, like kind of charcoal or paint type of artwork. It's not really clean. It has smudges and whatnot, and it's dirty and raw, and, and it really does look like it was all done with like chalk, because it like bleeds. But yeah, and so I'm liking this story so far. They haven't really done anything. They found another guy in the previous book, and he was in this like black column thing that they thought was a spaceship, but it's just another room. But yeah, it's just these people are trying to get out, and they don't know what's going on. I guess the world has ended, and some of them believe that Walter actually went and destroyed the world and killed their families and whatnot, and that he's collecting them kind of like pets, So yeah, it's very interesting. They're his pets that he manipulates. It's kind of creepy. I like it.
Tracy, you said when we talked about the books, because believe it or not, we do talk about them before we show you guys these books. You said this was an interesting book. What was it that made you sort of like think, wow?
Me. Sorry, my internet dropped for 2 seconds there, and I lost you all. I again, to me, it was a very indie style book. I loved the first couple of pages. Illustration wise, I thought were my kind of cup of tea. It kind of reminded me a little bit in places of the Evil Dead. You got Ash, and he's going going into his cabin in the woods kind of thing. And then like there's these beautiful black pages with just comments, and then this one person image. But it is what it is. There is a lot of mind swiping, and it will lead to something bigger. You can see that they have a potential in this book to make it into something extremely interesting. if they stick to their guns and be authentic with the book, rather than go, oh, this isn't making as much as everything else, let's turn it into something it's not. And that would be my biggest fear, and especially with the kind of Black Label stuff anyway. You know what I mean? They're trying so hard not to be, but then if they don't get the numbers, they turn back. And this has the potential to be an amazing horror series.
Well, I don't think they're going. James Tynion, he kind of he's a big name, right? He's not like
he's not a nobody.
He's not a Johnny Come Lately. Pardon the joke. What? It's a phrase. It's a genuine phrase. So you know he's got some
the chops.
pull. He's got some pull at DC. DC aren't going to pull this book. Not as James Tynion pretty much could have taken this book anywhere.
Yeah.
It's not creator linked. He could have taken it to any particular indie book. And to be fair, if he'd done that, he could have got away with a lot more than he's in this book.
But even even when they talk about the graphic nudity and things like that, it's not.
It's not. It's natural.
It's artistic.
But the thing is, but it's the topics that they're talking about, and like in relation to transitioning, and in relation to relationships and same-sex relationships, and then scary, weird alien things that are, you know, hijacking people and keeping one girl on her own in a house because, you know, he's not very nice. And he's like psycho.
Josh, did you read the book?
I did. As was said earlier, this is definitely, it has that indie feel, which we've seen come out of the Black Label books a lot more. The biggest thing that stood out to me is we're able to see the versatility of Jordie Bellaire's art.
That's a great shout.
It's, if you're very surprised about us ranting and raving about Jordie Bellaire, then where have you been? What rock have you been living under? Because she really is an amazing artist. And this book, I think, is just another notch in her belt, if you will, showing what she is capable of doing.
Totally get that.
You look at previous books where it's like what we saw with Killing Time, where colors are solid, the artwork is just busting out of the page, and then all of a sudden she just flips the script on us, and we get this. And what a huge talent that we get to enjoy.
Absolutely. I don't know, colorists, I suppose, nobody goes to a comic book shop and goes, "Ooh, this book's colored by such and such, I've got to buy it." But for me, Jordie Bellaire is probably one of the two people that you would do that for.
Yeah, you do. I would be that kind of. But the minute you see the name, you're like, right, I'm getting her book. I don't care what it is. I don't care what it's about, because I'm going to love it.
Like at the rate that this is going, I'm going to want to have a long box specifically of books that Jordie Bellaire has worked
collection.
on. The Jordie Bellaire collection. That would be one hell of a Kickstarter. The art of Jordie Bellaire. I would back that in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
There you go. So we are 2 books in. You know what that means? It's time for an advert. Josh, dealer's choice.
All right, here we go.
There you go, Crash in the Toyverse. All your figures, statues need. Keep getting you at the end because I mean, it's going to be doing the Podfather.
Right. Bobo has been absolutely killing it with his reviews. He's been doing so much. So you guys need to head over to comiccrusaders.com. Go check it out because he really is doing a phenomenal job.
And he's amazing when you have to listen to him. The amount of knowledge and fun you have.
I was lucky enough to work with Bobo on a figure set that came out that's kind of like a G.I. Joe thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I had no idea what I was talking about. He was like, yeah, they're this and they're that. And I was like, wow. I was like, that.
Yeah. Oh, and he's a blast to hang out with. I know Freya and I can
Oh, yeah.
We could both say with the Shirty that you see how much fun he is on screen. He's just that much fun in person.
Oh, really?
He is a very unique person. In person.
Oh, great. That's such a great
I don't know. Is that a good thing about? No, I love him. I think he's class.
In a good way.
Check out Crash in the Toyverse. Episodes drop multiple times during the week. So, set your notifications on for that because otherwise you'll miss it. So, All right. Next up is Tracy is so keen to talk about comic books. She picked not one, 2 books. If we have time. So here we go. We are going to talk. We're going to spend some time. Not a great deal, I don't think. But
No.
Suicide Squad number 13, written by Dennis Hopeless and Robbie Thompson. I will say I absolutely love Dennis Hopeless' Spider-Woman run for Migraine a few years back. Art is by Eduardo Panic, Julio Ferreira, and Dexter Soy. Already with 3 artists on here, I'm already cringing. Colors are by Marcelo Maiolo, and letters are by Wes Abbott. I don't know about you, but I'm getting better at these names, I feel.
You are. You're getting so much better. I'm so proud of you.
I would sure hope so after how many years of doing this?
Bite me, Joshua. All right.
Only if you ask nicely.
Well, hey ho, fishnets involved. All right, Tracy. As I said, this is one of your 2 choices. Greedy much. Take it away. What do you think of this book, or what do you want to talk to us about this book for?
I want to first say, oh my God, it's so annoying when they end the book and go, find out what happens in a completely different, non-related book. Because at the end of this, it says, hey, look at Flash. I read Suicide Squad. I'm not reading the Flash. Seriously. So that really was.
That's why they do it. To get you
I know, but
it
fucking irks me, and I hate it, and it's one of my biggest pet peeves. Put it in a book that's kind of something similar to what we're doing, but how? Like it's not. But anyway, Amanda Waller has gone to Earth 3. She's getting all the superheroes in Earth 3 to be bad guys because they are there, and then she's going to use them as her personal army to take over everywhere else. So first of all, you've got Superboy is turned into a Bizarro, but then all it takes for him is for his missus to hit him really hard on the ground and get into hell for him to turn back into Superboy, and then they start, having relations in hell.
Wait. Who's his
why not?
girlfriend?
What's her name? The vampire one.
Edward.
What's her name? That's it. My brain went blank. So that's stupid. And then it's like there's like we have. I've loved the TV series with John Cena and having all that Peacemaker stuff given to us, and then he's heavily influenced in this book as well. Obviously because it's on the bandwagon, but it's like stop. It's just stupid. And then there's this page. Where's the page? Where's the page with the shot that I need to talk about?
It's page 8 or 9.
8 or 9. Seriously, we're talking about anatomy.
Not this one.
I can't help.
It's the one before that. It's one before that one.
Before that, yeah.
This one?
This one.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that one. That bottom Superman panel, isn't it?
Bottom Superman. Ultraman, because it's not Superman.
Yeah.
Oh.
If
Sorry.
we could just zoom in, and can somebody tell me why there's a hole in his super suit?
Is that a hole or is that a piece of sand?
It's a hole in a super suit.
Is it?
That's what I'm saying. It looks like a hole in a super suit.
It really does.
And then, like, look at that shape of the, like, just the shape.
He got the Ken doll treatment.
But it's not even a
No,
Ken
no,
doll.
no, 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 no. Okay, let me clarify.
He has a sack.
Let me clarify what happened.
And,
I'll tell you what, if it was that big, Brainiac certainly wouldn't try and capture it.
Okay, so first, Tracy,
Yeah.
here's some clarification. Hopefully this helps. They wanted to make some resemblance to Henry Cavill's suit. So that's part of the belt. The unfortunate thing is Ultraman took the codpiece from George Clooney and Val Kilmer's bat suits, combined it, and there you go.
Don't diss Val Kilmer.
Okay, fine. It was just Clooney's.
Wait, don't diss Clooney.
Yeah. So
Holy codpiece, Batman.
anyone else amused by his little arms and little hands?
His tiny little hands.
His tiny little hands.
I'm
There's no
interested
way
in how
that's a
he's.
piece of sand. There's no way that's a hole in the top of. Maybe it's a pee-pee hole that, you know, when it's up. I don't know. Looking through it, and I'm like, and then he's going, I'm going to use my eyes to turn your sand into glass so that I can smash through. And when I smash through, look at my beautiful pose. I'm a gazelle in the wind.
That's very.
So I quite like the fact when he's like this, his right hand looks like the back of his left hand.
Doesn't it just? It looks like somebody just went, I put that there now. I've drawn that one. Let me put the other one in. And then the stupid turning Superboy to Bizarro, and then all of a sudden, literally all he had to do was hit the ground, see? And then his missus just had to give him a snog, and everything's okay.
That's what works for me in my house.
Well, Mr. Hughes, you and Mrs. Hughes have, you know, your thing. That's your thing.
We have several things, trust me.
I'm sure you do. But you ain't no Bizarro.
Me happy, me sad, not Bizarro. There we go.
Yeah.
Machine happy on.
But yeah,
Bizarro's too hard to work out.
Yeah, I wouldn't normally read it. Well, I would. Depending on what characters are in a Suicide Squad book. But because this was the last one, I said, right, let's see how they end. Because I hadn't read a lot of it. I think I read the first one, and that was it. I said, right, let's see how the ending goes. And I got reading this book, and I'm like, I'm not going to pick this book this week because I can't talk about it seriously. And then I was like, actually, we need to talk about this book because.
The problem you've got with this book is that it is unfortunately part of a larger tie-in event.
Yeah.
So probably if you're reading it for the Suicide Squad element, you've kind of got issues from the get-go. I know it's supposed to be a fun book. I personally didn't appreciate the redacted due to Warner Brother lawyer.
Yes, that
thing.
was stupid.
Because I'm thinking to myself, surely Warner Brothers wouldn't redact a Warner Brothers song in a Warner Brothers comic book.
And just another thing, you know, about Batman, and he's like, you're Batman. Doesn't he look more like, doesn't his outfit look more like Punisher?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I got so confused for a moment. I was like, is that a crossover? I'm seeing.
Was it supposed to be Batman?
I'm glad I wasn't the only one who thought it was Punisher because I was like, why is Punisher here?
That was my first thought. What the hell is Punisher doing here? I know they're mishmashing.
And he's stupid ass Batman. He's not proper Batman.
So I'm going to ask the question then. Is Siren the Earth 3 version of Canary? Is that what this is about?
Yeah.
All right, okay, cool. Right, fine. Because I was kind of like, what's going on? Because Canary's popping up all over the place. She's in Justice League. She's in Deathstroke Inc. I was like, what?
Makes you happy?
It does. Deathstroke Inc. She looks great in the last issue of Deathstroke Inc. Gotta be said. That's all I'm saying. Who else read this book then?
I did.
Go on, what do you think of this book, Freya?
It's a book. that I did not like.
It has pages, it has writing,
The
and
colors are
pictures.
vibrant and pretty. That's
The
you know.
staples hold it together
Yeah,
well.
Really well,
And
really
then
well.
Bizarro whatever that thing. I
Comment.
agree. The power of love. I'm like,
Comment,
I should be watching a freaking magical girl anime.
You know what I mean?
know?
It
The
was like,
power of
oh my
love
god,
is real.
it's like Twilight.
Ah, gross. It's just
Why
and
does it have to-
I am glad to be seeing more lesser known characters.
Mhm.
Like I know that Peacemaker's everywhere right now,
Yeah.
and he's kind of getting dull at the moment. But at least they're doing different characters now, and it's not Joker everywhere right now. Well,
It's not Harley all the time.
or
either,
Harley. I'm
when it
so
comes to
glad
Suicide
Harley's
Squad.
not even in this, and I'm so glad
No.
she's not even here. So silver lining and all that. But
We got a pretty Rick Flag on the first page.
yeah, we did. It's just.
That's it.
But when you start looking too closely at things in the art, like the Ken Ultraman, and his little hands, and then like his push, it's just. And then on the same page, where he's punching through her face, like 9 or something, the very top. Is it like a perspective thing, or is Rick's body? Like his legs in particular, like
I've got to be honest.
there's something wrong with his legs because there's something that bothers me in that first panel about him.
Yeah, it looks like missing the bottom half of a leg, or that his butt is in the front rather than in the back.
Yeah,
I think. Oh yeah, he's missing his back of his calf, isn't he?
I'm thinking it's a perspective thing.
Because I am
not.
very
I'm not.
confused. Because it's
But is it just me, or does this look like lazy ass illustrating?
Well,
does he
right,
have
okay.
Is that a gun or is that a piece of brick, like or cement? Because it's a giant rectangle gray thing.
And he doesn't have fingers.
No,
So
I am nitpicking, but I enjoy nitpicking art.
Right, okay. So let's just take a step back. Now, there is a trend going on, I think, in Big Two comics at the moment where speed over details comes into play. And I think sometimes a lot of artists go with the, well, it looks kind of right approach. And I can name
Lazy work.
like even really good books, even books like we talk about the extension of in the Killing Time book. We talk about how certain books have if they've got group shots, the back of the group have no faces, but you can tell who it is because they're wearing the costume, right? So I think it's a shame that it's a necessity, and I really hate the fact that it appears so often. Just put the details in, you know.
Yeah.
For me, the styles here, the styles kind of conflict because you've got this Rick Flag character here he looks quite like proper superhero pose, and then you've got this Peacemaker dude at the bottom, and he looks more like Mike Mignola.
He looks like he's having a poop.
Yeah,
right there. No,
style.
Peacemaker looks more like Cobra Commander.
Yes.
Having a poop.
I'm saying yes. I have no idea who Cobra Commander. I do. I'm pretty sure.
My issue though with that is that Flag, he's in the foreground. He's not in the background though. He is in the front. Can't say center.
Front and off to the side. Yeah.
Yeah, he's front and off to the side, but he is like one of the main focal points, and even that's just, and honestly, I don't think I would be getting it on in hell. I think it would be too hot. I feel like get away from me, but whatever floats her boat, I guess. And poor Dragon's watching. Poor guy.
All right, there you go.
Or sorry, Brainiac 666.
Brainiac 6, Brainiac, yeah.
That digressed massively straight away. Right, so we're on to our right. We have a choice. We haven't got a lot of time. I'll put it out to a vote. We've got the pain that is Joshua having to look at Arkham City 6 of 6, or we can let Josh off the hook and we can go straight to Monkey Prince.
Really?
Which, well,
No,
have you
I
read,
want to talk about freaking Arkham.
Have you read the book?
I read the book and I've got.
Well, maybe that's the punishment enough for missing a show. Right. So.
Let's do Arkham.
Oh, really? All right, Arkham. Bring up Arkham City number 606. Go on.
All
Well, everybody
right.
should buy Monkey anyway.
Right. So
Issue
this is written by I've got Dan Water, whatever how you pronounce that. Art by Danny, colors by Dave Stewart. Who, if you're long in the tooth like Freya will say that I am. Thanks, Freya. You remember Dave Stewart as being the colorist of choice for Mike Mignola back on Dark Horse and the Mignola-verse. And letters by Aditya Bidikar. All right, so this book is Arkham City, the Order of the World, and it's Josh's punishment for having the audacity for having a migraine when he should have been on TDC.
Oh.
Josh, take it away.
So, going into this book, I was like, oh, this is a punishment for not being here last episode. However, joke's on you suckers. I enjoyed the book.
I knew you would when I read it. I was like, because I was going to give you Suicide Squad as your main book.
Yeah.
And then I read this and I was like,
joke's on you. She punished us all.
I punished you all then instead.
What makes you think I read it?
I looked at the art on page 1 and said no and closed it and walked away.
So, okay. Let's jump in. So, the art is very...
Mongola.
They've definitely taken liberties on the art. Now, that being said, we're in Professor Pig's asylum. Now, one, I'm super happy that they have Professor Pig. It's someone not that we don't get a lot of Professor Pig. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I enjoyed the story. We're looking at the world from, even though it's this other doctor's perspective, she's been warped by Professor Pig. And so that being said, that I feel that really has an impact on the overall feel, because if you put yourself into her shoes, this is a dark and very jacked up place. And so why not have the artwork reflect that? Not to mention, it was fun to be able to just kind of get an idea of what goes through Professor Pig's head as he was explaining how he runs his asylum.
Okay.
I feel like I'm torturing you all by actually.
No, you're not.
Giving positive.
I'll say this. I did speak out of turn. I apologize, Josh. I did look through this book. As host, I am responsible. Never in a million years. I look through the books as well. And you know what? As soon as I started looking at this book, I knew this would be right up your street. Absolutely. The art has a Mignola feel, as Tracy mentioned. Has a kind of Frank Miller style, if you will, at some point.
Yeah.
But with more colour. So if that's your boat, and I think when you talk about Arkham Asylum, I think you want something like this. You don't want it to be run-of-the-mill standard art. So I think when you look at the art and you think of the book and what it's supposed to be, it's on brief. What surprises me about the book is that it's not a black label.
Yes.
That is the one probably shortfall of this book. I think it would have been a hell of a lot better had it been under a black label.
I think with the content in relation to the doctor expressing how Professor Pig's methods have changed and how he has changed these psychopaths and these asylum people and his methods, we would have been able to see them if it was a black label book where we only touch on them in this. The gore factor would have been a million times more, and that would be something I would just adore.
So here's a question for you. Here's a question. When it comes to horror, Tracy, is less more? Because sometimes
storyline.
Sometimes your own imagination will give you more details than you need to know.
But
So
this
Yeah.
book, like the book,
Freya's like, no.
What?
well,
No,
that's like
I was agreeing with you, Johnny.
Oh, yeah,
Uh,
okay.
no, that's
This
to
is-
say the house on the lake, less is more. It was brilliant because it's a psychological thriller. You know what I mean? That type of horror. This is a gore fest. This book should be a gore fest. If this was a movie, that's what you'd be seeing with these amazing, intricate interplays between these mentally unhinged characters that have these backstories that are now being explained or put away, putting Mad Hatter and March Hare beside one another because they're both complicit because of these things.
But the thing to keep in mind is Professor Pig, his goal is not to butcher everyone. He's just wanting perfection.
Mm-hmm.
And so in a sick,
Borg.
twisted sense of way, putting all the gore in actually defeats the purpose of what Professor Pig is trying to achieve. And so by having the implied gore and let your mind fill in the blanks makes it a complete story. Well, again, what we're wanting to see is Professor Pig's perfect vision.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, there's going to be hiccups because that's the whole purpose of why he has his asylum. So to not have
it's not even an asylum, it's an Aptor, so that's what makes it fun. You know what I mean? It's amazing the way they did it.
My only issue is why do we have Batman Beyond villains here?
Yeah.
That was my one gripe.
Who is it?
Why not?
Who's that supposed to be?
That is
If that's the radioactive man, he appeared in Detective Comics 413. Just
It looks like
I know it's supposed to. It looks like Blight. I get
yeah.
it,
I was
but
like,
it's radioactive man.
Is it radioactive?
but it's it looks like it's not only Blight, but the girl, is it Ink? Oh,
Ink?
The girl looks like Ink. Yes, I get that.
Yeah.
But seriously, if I can, where is 1 second? Keep talking amongst yourselves.
But so
I love this.
all in all, I mean, all in all, I mean the overall feel of the book really surprised me. Again, because I'm going into it thinking, okay, this is my punishment, blah blah blah.
No,
Thank you,
would
Tracy.
Would
I
really punish you? No, I would not.
Oh.
And the minute I seen this book, I knew it was you. It was just so good. And even like with Azrael at the end of it, it was like, yeah.
You know, it's funny how
I was hoping
Professor
it was
Pig.
Red Hood for a second.
Well,
there you go.
okay.
A little moment.
Oh,
Sorry
there
to
he
be.
is.
There he is.
Oh, okay. Here,
that makes sense.
Hold on. Let's go. Let's go like this. Whoop.
There you go.
Okay. That makes sense.
This is. I was wrong. This is 469.
Oh. Well, it's funny because Professor Pig mentions earlier in the episode in the book that the inmates are not behind locked doors; they're not in chains. And then here we have Azrael.
Yeah. Thank God. Who Azrael? Who cares about Azrael?
But that's because he hasn't taken off his mask. The rest of them have done their thing.
The Order
now
of Saint
that's why
Dumas
they're-
is deep within him. But I mean,
Maybe.
it was a fun read. I enjoyed it. I love the artwork. It was dark. It was raw and gritty. I would agree. I wish it would have been a black label.
Cool.
I want to go back and read more.
Right. So we have time. We're gonna quickly go through the Monkey Prince. This is aimed at Tracy and Freya because they love this book, and I'm a nice guy. And we're going to give some kudos where it's deserved. Monkey Prince number 2 of 4. Josh Fastfingers.
Yep, I'm on
There
it.
you go. Good man.
Like Blue Bonnet.
Yeah. In there like somewhere. All right. Written by Jean Luen Yang. I apologize, I'm going to get these names wrong. Art by Bernard Chang. Colors by Janice Chiang. And letters by Jessica Chen. Freya, do you want to take us? Do you want to start this one before
Sure.
Tracy closes out on it?
Okay, so first off, I still really enjoy the artwork. I like the clean colors and like it pops. I love it. And there's no real anatomical stuff that I have an issue with. I mean, I like how they're tossing his head around in the beginning because he's still alive.
But I don't think the art's supposed to be taken seriously. That's why it could be it can be expanded on, and these can be a certain way and stuff. Yeah, totally.
Yeah, I like it. It reminds me. I'm just getting flashbacks from the freaking Journey to the West stories. And I love those. I like the new penguin look. He kind of looks like a rhinoceros right now. He's eating everyone's life force or chi.
Yeah,
eating everyone's chi. I greatly enjoy it. I don't know who eats casserole with chopsticks, but I won't judge too much on that because my family sure as the hell doesn't, or I don't. I never have.
I'll tell you a quick story. I went to a Vietnamese restaurant in Manchester, and there was myself, my wife, and her two cousins, and the food came, and they've got chopsticks on the table, and they're dropping in with forks and spoons and stuff. I'm like, guys, you said we're here for the authentic experience. Why aren't you using chopsticks?
Yeah.
Like, could you use chopsticks? I was like, yeah, there you go.
Oh, so I went to a Lunar New Year celebration a couple years ago with I'll just call him Man Scandal, Josh.
Hey.
He calls himself that. It's not that bad. So Josh, he knows him. So,
oh, that's great.
I feel out of the loop here.
Great.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Anyway, I went to a Lunar New Year. It's kind of like what Johnny was saying. And we were there with a Chinese student, and she was awesome. But like, he was trying his best to eat with chopsticks, and she was dying because he just couldn't figure it out.
Hands up! I can't use chopsticks. I can't. I can't get the hang of it at all.
No, but it's not that. Well, I'm not going to say that. But if you want to learn, and I bought some for him. There's these kid chopsticks that have a little character that holds the chopsticks together for you, so that they don't fall out of your hands. So we bought him some of those. But
the reason why I was laughing as hard as I was, aside from the fact that yes, I know exactly who she's referring to, but I've also seen him struggle with the chopsticks, and so it brought back very fun memories.
It's an experience.
Thank you, Freya.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
But I like this. I also like in the comic. I don't know where. Well, first of all, I love when he rips the crown. You can't rip that crown off, by the way. In the Journey of the West people, that crown will not come off of you. I like how it went to like, I'm gonna be your bra then.
Yeah.
I like the humor.
It finds its way back.
It always does, and I like how they page 20, 21. They throw in the kanji right there in red. But I like and appreciate when you get there. I think it's 27 or something. Yeah, right there. I appreciate how they actually are putting the translation for people who don't know Chinese, so they don't have to stop and look up what is that. I do appreciate that. It makes it more accessible to people. So you can also throw more Chinese in there too. You just have to throw a translation underneath. But I appreciate that because I don't have to rack my brain and be like, oh, I remember what this is, kind of.
I like the fact that they're comfortable doing the Chinese writing rather than that stupid in brackets in English and then underneath translated from Chinese.
Yeah.
So, cool. Excellent. So, Frey, you're on board with this. Excellent. Yeah. Tracy, close us out on this book for me, please.
This epic book has everything we would want. It has adventure. It has fantasy. It has sci-fi bras. It has angsty school kids.
Absolutely. Where's the bras?
You know what I mean? He does. The horrible lacrosse players, the big school bullies, and then Damian Wayne comes to write in the school paper. Ta-da! And then you look at Penguin, look at Penguin. He's gold, man. Proper gold.
It looks like Goldar from the Power Rangers.
He does.
Yes, he does, very much so. And the style of it is very much Power Rangers-esque. And it's all about stealing the chi, and he's insatiable. He cannot be fed enough. So, and then look at how happy the Monkey Prince is in that page. Like, just look at that. That in itself says it's a good comic.
It's great. I just want them to have. I want the monk and I want Sandy to make an appearance. I really want Sandy to show up.
I think one of them has in the book when he's talking about there's some guy giving him grief. It's either I think that's Sandy.
Where?
Go back the other way.
Towards the end?
No. I might have. It's after the Pixie bit, but never mind. I just thought, who's that guy giving him grief when he knows so much? I was like, could it be? But I don't know. I'm not an expert in any shape, way, or form. So
we'll wait and see what happens.
Yes, we shall. We shall.
And then when it comes to 2 weeks again, I'll be reviewing number 3.
Cool. Right. So there you go. As I said, I promised a plethora of books, and you've had a plethora of books.
Mm-hmm.
And you've had no spoilers from the Batman movie as well. What more could you want from a podcast show?
Woo.
More
Right.
fishnets.
More
Yes,
fishnets.
well, funny you should say that, but no, I'm joking.
So you're wearing fishnets today, Johnny.
Not today. Last night, maybe. Not
Okay.
today. What can I say?
Oh my God.
I turned a pair of fishnet tights into a t-shirt for yesterday because I
So,
needed
yeah,
long sleeves.
It's super sexy Saturday. Yours?
It was super sexy Saturday.
Super sexy Saturday. You know, not to be confused with Fishnet Friday.
Obviously, fishnet Friday is for the legs, super sexy. So Saturday is for the arms.
Well, it could be for anything, to be fair. All right, okay, on that note, there's a podcast just waiting to be kicked off YouTube. All right, so don't forget to check out
Can't even
the
talk
UCP.
later about that stuff. We'll talk about that later. It's fine.
All right, so don't forget to check the UCPM for all your favorite shows, including Joshua.
Oh, we've got the Jank Think Tank where all things Magic the Gathering, and we have a special guest, a big name in the Magic the Gathering community coming up. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be awesome.
And of course, you've got the Old Timers Comic Book Show where the comics aren't all, where the hosts aren't all, but the comics. Well, this one, well, certainly are.
Are you sure about that, Johnny?
Pretty much.
Are you
And of course,
sure?
check out Outside the Panels, because for all you Vampy fans, we have an interview coming up this week with Tom Stagowski and Janine Aitchison, writers of Panther and the new Vampirella Strikes book. There you go. Cool. All right, all that's left for me to say is thank you, Josh, for being the man in the chair. Appreciate all the images. Freya, thank you very much. And Tracy, enjoyed the time. All right. I am Jordan Machine Hughes. Thank you for watching. Adios.